Hey guys, this is Saf WB777 here, and I'm going to continue on with the pay-per-view or 2012 pay-per-view reviews. And today we're going to look at No Way Out 2012 on Blu-ray. Now this pay-per-view was held in at the Izod Center, the newly redone Izod Center in New Jersey, the home of WrestleMania 29. And this pay-per-view returning pay-per-view No Way Out after 3 years. And this pay-per-view is completely rubbish, man. I wouldn't really recommend picking this pay-per-view. If you're gonna get this pay-per-view, get it for 1-2 matches and just for the collection. But other than that, this pay-per-view is really disappointing. It's really one of the most disappointing pay-per-views from 2012. And the reason why this pay-per-view is disappointed is because of the main event between John Cena and Big Show in a steel cage match, where if Big Show lost, John Cena would get fired, or if Big Show lost, John Laurinaitis would get fired. And that was the main angle heading into the show. And John Cena and Big Show's rivalry or their chemistry is pretty crap. Every match they had every match has been awful, and to have Big Show and John Cena in a feud again was really not needed, to be honest. And obviously the only reason why they had the match was because or it had a rivalry was because after Big Show KO'd John Cena over the limit in his match against John Laurinaitis, so that's why they had that match. And the main event was really disappointing. Nothing really happened in the match. Barely use of the cage, to be honest. Big Show John Cena is a really slow match, and you could tell in the crowd that they were waiting for the match to finish, to be honest. But the ending was kind of good. You picked up the match a bit with the different competitors coming out, make sure Big Show didn't escape him in the match, and then John Cena would escape the cage, and he would win the match, and John Laurinaitis would get fired by Vince McMahon, and then get AA'd on the announce table, and then John Cena celebrating in the ring, and very predictable and lame ending to the show, and the whole pay-per-view basically just sucked. And the cover there as well just pretty much spoils the main event, or spoils the show if we're gonna watch it for the first time. But even watching it the first time, I don't really recommend watching this pay-per-view, because this pay-per-view is really bad. The only reason why I got this pay-per-view was because for my collection, and I had another Blu-ray to my Blu-ray collection as well. But this pay-per-view is really bad, I'm telling you that now. And the only match that's probably worth checking out is the only 2 matches that are worth checking out are Sheamus vs Dolph Ziggler for the World Heavyweight Championship match, in a really good opening match there. Dolph Ziggler looked really impressive, as he usually does. Sheamus also looked pretty good as well, and he was the World Heavyweight champion going into the pay-per-view. It was originally meant to be Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio, but Alberto Del Rio had a couple of personal problems with the creative team back then, but they made out that he had a concussion from Great Khali. But everyone knows the real reason why Alberto Del Rio didn't wrestle at the pay-per-view, or was taken off the pay-per-view. And Dolph Ziggler would win the Fatal 4-Way match on Raw. He would have become the new #1 contender, and the card was really heavily favored behind Dolph Ziggler. And there's a point in the match where Dolph Ziggler, the fans were chanting "Let's go Dolph Ziggler," and Jerry Lawler pointed out in the commentary that the fans were chanting "Let's go Sheamus," and that was a blatant lie. How can he say that the crowd were chanting "Let's go Sheamus" when they clearly could hear the crowd chanting "Let's go Ziggler"? And I don't really like that, because they're trying to manipulate the viewer watching the match into thinking that the crowd is behind someone behind the fan favorite. Obviously, Dolph Ziggler is a heel and Sheamus was a face, but to make that the card is behind the fan favorite, but they're not. They're behind the heel Dolph Ziggler, and I don't really like that from Jerry Lawler. That's a blatant lie, to be honest. Whoever told him to say that is probably a fucking idiot, in my opinion. But yeah, the match was really back and forth. There was times where it looked like Dolph Ziggler would win the match, but Sheamus would retain the match doing the bro kick, and that was a really good start of the pay-per-view. And then after that, the pay-per-view went really downhill, and there's nothing really to talk about on the pay-per-view. You had matches like Tuxedo match, Santino Marella versus Ricardo Rodriguez. That's a really boring match, and I've said there. You had a Divas Championship match, Layla versus Beth Phoenix. Nothing on that match. They had over the limit. a really bad match there. You had a 2-1 handicap match, Ryback versus the two jobbers. Again, nothing special there. You had Hunako versus Sin Cara. Again, the match was pretty rubbish, and the botch finishing move didn't really help by Sin Cara, as per usual with botches in every match he beats in, to be honest. And you had a fatal four-way tag team elimination, or fatal four-way tag team match, Usos versus Justin Gabriel, Tyson Kidd versus the Primetime Players, and versus Epico and Primo. And the match was pretty decent, to be honest. I quite enjoyed that match, but nothing too special happened there. The ending came where Darry Young did one of the finishing move on Primo, and he would pick up the win. And then AW, Abraham Washington, All World Promotion, would side with the Primetime Players after he was originally with Primo and Epico. And yeah, and then the only match I think is really worth checking out is a triple threat match for the WWE Championship, CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan versus Kane. This feud or whole rivalry involved around AJ. Throughout the pay-per-view, AJ would visit the competitors or the participants in the match and would tell them best of luck, and even point where when AJ met Kane, Kane would like kiss her, and obviously CM Punk says that he digs crazy chicks. That was his motto at the time, and yeah, the rivalry was really fantastic. I really enjoyed that rivalry, and AJ was the main focal point in the rivalry. She was the main reason why the rivalry pretty much started, to be honest, or pretty much the reason behind the rivalry was AJ. And obviously she didn't interfere in the match until later on in the match, and yeah, the match was really fantastic, really back and forth. Probably one of the underrated matches throughout the whole year. Really good match. Kane looked impressive. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk's chemistry is off the chart. When they two were in the ring, it was really good stuff there. When CM Punk Kane went in the ring, that was really good stuff. When Daniel Bryan and Kane went in the ring, that was really good stuff as well. And yeah, the match was really fantastic. I really enjoyed that match. Went on for about 18 minutes, and the ending came where CM Punk and Kane went in the ring, and AJ came, and she came on the apron, and CM Punk pushed Kane on the ring, and AJ went flying off the ring flying off the apron onto the floor, and it kind of distracted Kane. And then CM Punk would do the go to sleep, and he would pin Kane 1, 2, 3, and he would pick up the win, retaining his championship, retaining his WWE Championship, entire defenses, entire matches. And yeah, the match was really fantastic. And obviously the reason why CM Punk pinned Kane was to continue his rivalry with Daniel Bryan, as they would have a match for the WWE title the next pay-per-view on Money in the Bank 2012, which I will do a review. That will be my next review. And yeah, that was the reason why he pinned Kane. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole pay-per-view, a review of the whole pay-per-view. As with the Blu-ray, you get a couple of Blu-ray exclusive extras. You get Vader's match with Heath Slater, so you get a chance to see Vader's return to the WWE, and he looked impressive there. You got Daniel Bryan sets his sight on No Way Out, that promo. You got CM Punk and AJ versus Daniel Bryan and Kane, and the match where towards the end AJ jumps on Kane and she starts kissing Kane, which was pretty funny. You got John Laurinaitis final evaluation where Big Show punched KO'd Vince McMahon, and you could tell, if you're watching in slow motion, you could tell Big Show's hand misses Vince McMahon's head, so that looked completely fake. Or fake's not, I shouldn't usually use the word fake, it didn't look real, to be honest. But you know what I mean, innit? And you got AJ explains the actions, and you got Sheamus and CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. And you got home video exclusive, you got Matt Striker interviews CM Punk. So yeah, pretty much been my review of No Way Out 2012. I'll give this pay-per-view a miss. I'll give this pay-per-view a 6 out of 10. Really disappointing pay-per-view. The only two matches are worth checking out, again, said earlier in the video, is Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler and CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan versus Kane in a triple match for the WWE title. And I would really recommend going out your way to pick this DVD or Blu-ray up. But if you can, just those are the two matches. The only reason to pick up this up pay-per-view. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my review of No Way Out 2012 on Blu-ray. And until next time, I'll see you again. Stay safe.